And now,
This is Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. It's day 2 of baseball in the major leagues, and MLB The Show's virtual network will feature a National League East matchup between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Miami Marlins. This game starting rather quickly. There's Sandy Alcantara. Alcantara was the lone Miami Marlin to make the All-Star game last season. 6-14 decision, but that ERA, 3.88.
leading off tonight for
The
Philadelphia,
Marlins have been struggling
second baseman,
in recent years.
Segura.
Team was in a rebuilding stage, but this year made several splash moves as Gene Segura grounds it to Miguel Rojas. Throw to Aguilar's in time. A diamond-studded play starts
Batting second,
the top of the first inning, and
JT.
here's the Philadelphia Phillies lineup. Gene Segura there at the top, JT Realmuto, both trade acquisitions. The $330 million man, Bryce Harper, batting third. Didi Gregorius, one of the new additions as well. He signed a deal in the offseason. He'll bat sixth and play shortstop. JT Realmuto playing his former team. Realmuto started his career with the Marlins and was traded in the 2018-19 offseason to the Phillies. Jorge Alfaro, catcher who's injured now with the Marlins, was involved in that trade. Realmuto's got himself a base hit. So on 3 pitches,
Batting third,
an out was netted, and JT Realmuto's on board with a single. There's Bryce Harper. His first season with the Phillies looked like that. The average was a bit lower than expected, but 35 home runs and 114 RBIs. He's still a run producer, that's for certain. Facing Sandy Alcantara. Former Washington National, made his debut at the age of 18 in 2012 with the Washington Nationals. Won the National League Most Valuable Player Award at the age of 22 in 2015. Counts even at 1-1. Yesterday, Bryce Harper went 1 for 4. Struck out 3 times. And that pitch close, but that misses. Counts 2 balls and a strike. So Harper's season average right now is .250. In yesterday's game, the Marlins won 9-5 thanks to a 7-run 4th inning. Team batted around and chased Aaron Nola from the game. That pitch misses outside, counts 3-1. And speaking of the Marlins, and a lot of the splash moves they made were beneficial to their team for sure, bringing in a lot of veterans. Harper swings, hits that pitch to left field. Going back on it is Matt Joyce. He's not going to get there. And that's a home run. And pardon me, that's Corey Dickerson in left field. But nonetheless, Bryce Harper hits it out of the ballpark. 2-0 Phillies. 1 out, top of the first. Bryce Harper hits his first of the season. Well, the field wasn't shifting him anyhow because there was a runner on base. Usually he is played to pull the ball, but in that instance, he went with the pitch and hit it out. 0-1 now on Rhys Hoskins. Started his career with the Phillies in the outfield, but with the acquisitions of Andrew McCutchen and Bryce Harper, he's been able to transition over to first base, not be such a defensive liability, and focus on his offensive approach, and he hits that through the shift. That's a base hit for Rhys Hoskins. So Sandy Alcantara got Gene Segura out on one pitch to start this inning, and has since given up 3 straight hits, one of which was a 2-run home run to Bryce Harper, and now Jay Bruce fouls that pitch off, strike 1. Jay Bruce has been around the National League. He's played for 2 National League East teams. He's played for the New York Mets. And now playing for the Philadelphia Phillies. Also played for the Cleveland Indians as a part of one of their 100-win seasons, as that's a strike. Bruce broke out with the Cincinnati Reds in the beginning part of the 2010s. Counts 1-2 on him. He's playing left field tonight, or today, rather, for an injured Andrew McCutchen. Line, that's off the first baseman, Aguilar. He stopped it. He'll try to throw it to second. And out at second is Rhys Hoskins. Jesus Aguilar with an alert play, not only to react it fast enough to stop that ball from going to the outfield, but to understand that Hoskins wasn't going to make it to second in time. He threw to second, got Hoskins out. Jay Bruce reaches on the fielder's choice. And now Didi Gregorius takes ball 1. In his debut with the Phillies yesterday, Didi Gregorius went 1 for 4. Walked once and struck out twice. 1-1 pitch coming. On the ground left side, Miguel Rojas will throw to Isan Diaz covering second, and that ends the inning. But those 2 runs on the Phillies scoreline are from this Bryce Harper 2-run home run. Bottom of the first inning, Phillies 2, Marlins coming to bat. Zach Wheeler making his debut today with the Philadelphia Phillies, signed in the offseason. Former New York Met, those are his statistics from the Mets last season. 11-8 record and a 3.96 ERA, and he was paid a hefty sum by the Philadelphia Phillies. Even at that, he's still the number 2 man to Aaron Nola.
The center fielder, Jonathan.
But bolsters the pitching staff for sure. That pitch is called a strike. It's 0-1. Switch hitting Jonathan Villar up to the plate. He's batting from the left side. And hits that one on the ground at third base. It's bobbled by Kingery at third, and Villar is going to reach, especially with his speed. And the official scores decision is an error on Scott Kingery. I think the fact that he was playing up threw off his reaction time there, because he got to that ball and tried to pick it up well too soon. Villar on first. Here's the first pitch to Brian Anderson, who swings and fouls that pitch off. Brian Anderson yesterday went 2 for 5 and had 4 RBIs in the Marlins win. Marlins beat the Phillies yesterday 9-5. Scored 7 runs in the 4th inning. Phillies in this one have an early 2-0 lead. Bryce Harper hit a home run in the top of the first. It was a 2-run home run. 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. That's out number 1. Zach Wheeler with a quality pitch, and that's his first strikeout as a Philly. They'll bring up Corey Dickerson. Well, despite all the Marlins runs, he went hitless yesterday. 0 for 4. Dickerson, former Colorado Rocky, Tampa Bay Ray, Pittsburgh Pirate, and he played for the Phillies last season. Was traded from the Pirates to the Phillies around the trade deadline and became a free agent for the first time in his career this past offseason and decided to sign with the Marlins. Here's the 1-1. That's high, ball 2.
Count is 2-1.
Pickoff attempt to first, Jonathan Villar. A stolen base threat. He was acquired in a trade with the Baltimore Orioles in the offseason. Venturing out to center field.
Ball, that's in.
He's played most of his career in the middle infield, but with Isan Diaz developing and Miguel Rojas already taking the shortstop position, Villar is experimenting with the Marlins in center field. Certainly quick enough to be an outfielder, and Dickerson takes ball 4. And the Phillies, who just scored the top of the first, have put the Marlins in a position to score here in the bottom of the first. Here is Jesus Aguilar. Went 1 for 3 with a walk yesterday. Those are all the teams he's played for. Debuted with the Cleveland Indians. Broke out with the Milwaukee Brewers. Was traded to the Tampa Bay Rays. And this offseason, he was claimed by the Marlins from the Rays, so he didn't have to change states. Still in the state of Florida, just playing for Florida's National League team. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That rip ball to left field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Picked up by Bruce. Villar coming around to score, and he'll score without a contest. The throw goes into third. And the Marlins answer right back. It's 2-1 here in the bottom of the first inning. Corey Dickerson advances to second on the play. Wheeler threw that pitch right over the middle of the plate, and Aguilar, with his second hit of the series. Here's Garrett Cooper. That hit well to right field. Bryce Harper's there. Neither runner tags, so they'll retreat. Harper throws to first, and Aguilar just gets back safely. And with that, good time to look at the Miami Marlins starting lineup. Several new additions to the team in Villar, Dickerson, Aguilar, Cervelli, among the few who were acquired this offseason. But the rebuilding stage might come to an end rather soon. If these veteran players can add a little jolt of help to this team, and if the prospects develop as advertised, the Marlins could see themselves toward the top of the NL East this season. They started the year well, 1-0, beat the Phillies yesterday. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That misses low, counts 2-0. The Braves still a dominant team, though, and made some acquisitions to make their team even better. But a wild card spot is not unrealistic for the other 4 teams in the East. 2-ball, 1-strike pitch for Francisco Cervelli. Swing and a miss, counts even at 2. Cervelli made his Major League debut with the New York Yankees. Played for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Atlanta Braves, and now here with the Marlins. 2-2 pitch. Dropped by Real Muto. Thrown on to third, not in time. Corey Dickerson advances. And score's decision is that's a passed ball. Real Muto at fault for Dickerson advancing. 3-ball, 2-strike pitch. Aguilar will be running from first base with the 3-2 count and 2 outs. He goes. Hit well to the right side. Bobbled a bit by Segura. He rebounds and throws to Hoskins. And that'll end the inning. Marlins get a run on a hit and some walks in the inning. Through 1 full inning, it's Philadelphia 2, Miami 1. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network,
Leading off for Philadelphia.
brought to you by MLB The Show 20.
Got
I'm Nicholas Callis. Top of the second, ready to get underway. Scott Kingery to lead off for the Phillies, and he takes strike one. Got 3 hits in yesterday's game, despite the losing effort. The Phillies still scored 5 runs yesterday. The Marlins had that 7-run fourth and finished with a total of 9. It was certainly a day for offense between these two yesterday. Kingery into center, and with that, today might be an offensive day as well. Scott Kingery aboard with a leadoff single.
batting it. The center fielder, Adam Hazley.
Here's Adam Hazley standing in now. Starting center fielder for the Phillies, expected to be their man in center this year. He is, center field is his position to lose. With Odubel Herrera missing some time with the Phillies for some off-the-field reasons. Runner goes from first. Strike thrown out by Cervelli is in time. What a great tag by Miguel Rojas. Scott Kingery cut down trying to steal second. That tag was the key there. Great throw by Cervelli. All Rojas had to do was follow the throw in with his glove and place the tag right on Kingery's shoulder. Now 2 outs, 2 strike count to Hazley. Here's the pitch. On the ground toward the middle, Miguel Rojas plays it at short, throws to Aguilar, 2 outs.
Batting ninth. The pitcher,
Zach Wheeler will come to the plate now, batting with 2 outs and the base is empty. But just to finish up on Hazley, center field is his position to lose. He's proven himself to the coaching staff worthy that he can be a starting center fielder for this Phillies team. And he'll have to fill Odubel Herrera's shoes in center. Create a strong presence there. But here's Zach Wheeler. His first time playing in a Phillies uniform in the regular season. Signed a deal this offseason, former New York Met. He's still in the NL East, just playing for one of the enemies, so to speak. Pitch fouled off. Count 1-2. Pitch misses inside, counts even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, the Marlins are still going to have to see him on a regular basis. Just not with the Mets anymore, playing for the Phillies. That hit into right center field. Zach Wheeler's got himself a 2-out base hit. VR will play it off the wall. Wheeler stops at second. And the relay in is executed well. That's a 2-out double for the pitcher, Zach Wheeler. And in his first start on the mound, he also nets himself his first base hit with the Phillies. 2 outs. Here's Gene Segura. 0 for 1. Takes ball 1. That's outside. Gene Segura, in the 18-19 offseason, was traded from the Mariners to the Phillies. As he grounds that pitch over to short, there's Miguel Rojas. He'll throw over to Miguel Andujar. Segura's out, and that ends this half inning. No runs on 1 hit, or no runs on 2 hits, only 1 runner left on base. Going to the bottom of the second, it's the Phillies 2 and the Marlins 1.
leading off for the Marlins,
Isan Diaz will bat.
Isan Diaz.
Facing Zach Wheeler for the first time, at least this season, as that pitch misses inside, ball 1. Isan Diaz made his major league debut last season with the Marlins. The Marlins are keeping him at second, wanting him to develop and be a strong piece of this core that the Marlins are trying to establish. 1-1 pitch. That hit up at foul. Counts 1-2. Last season, Diaz hit 173 in 49 games with 5 home runs and 23 RBIs. Yesterday, Diaz got the start at second base, and he went 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Two-two pitch. Here it comes. That misses inside. Diaz, leading off this half inning, runs the count full. Miguel Rojas on deck. Three-two. That's called ball 4. That was a close pitch. Wheeler issues a leadoff walk. Let's take a look at that on our pitch tracker. Yeah, you be the judge. It's a tough pitch to hit, though. 98 right at the knees. Diaz got the better end of that call. Now he's on first. Here's Miguel Rojas. Runner goes from first. Foul ball. That's strike 1. Diaz will have to go back to first base. That misses inside. Counts even. 1 ball and 1 strike. Phillies scored 2 in the top of the first after JT Realmuto singled and Bryce Harper hit a 2-run home run. And the Marlins scored in the bottom of the first inning thanks to a Jesus Aguilar RBI single.
You got 2 balls, 1 strike.
That run on the board is unearned right now to Zach Wheeler. Scott Kingery made an error at third base. Jonathan Villar reached to lead off the bottom of the first inning, and he's the one that came around to score on the Aguilar single. So Zach Wheeler still no earned runs on his line score. Miguel Rojas pops that up. Rhys Hoskins makes the catch, and that's the first out of the bottom of the second.
Batting 9. The pitcher.
And here's what the defense looks like for the Philadelphia Phillies. JT Realmuto won a Gold Glove last season. And there's the rest of the fielders there. You see the new outfield for the Phillies pretty much. Hazley, a new outfielder. Jay Bruce filling in for Andrew McCutchen, who's still injured. And Bryce Harper's going to be a consistent for years to come. He's not quite new. Bunted by Alcantara. Wheeler comes off the mound, throws to Hoskins. Alcantara out at first, but that's a sacrifice bunt. That moves Isan Diaz up to second base. And back to the top of the Marlins order for Jonathan Villar. 0 for 1, but reached on an error and scored last inning. Take strike 1. So the Marlins already coming around their order for the second time here in the second, and the Phillies will have 2, 3, 4 due up coming into the third. Zach Wheeler at 33 pitches. 1-1 to Villar. That's outside, counts 2-1. Isan Diaz walked to begin the inning. And then he reached second after Sandy Alcantara bunted him over, but now the Marlins have 2 outs in this half inning. Jonathan Villar, the switch hitter, batting from the left side. That's called a strike. Well-placed breaking ball by Zach Wheeler, and now it's a 2-2 count. 2 outs, bottom of the second, runner on second base. Hit one to right, that's going to fall in front of Harper. Isan Diaz being waved around. The throw by Harper is cut off by Hoskins. Throw to second, Villar safe. Tag applied just late by Didi Gregorius, and the Miami Marlins tie the game here in the bottom of the second. 2 outs. VR on second base. Pitch from Wheeler is a strike. 0-1, and now Zach Wheeler has given up an earned run. And not out of the inning yet. Runner in scoring position. Part of the order coming up for the Marlins. Swinging a foul ball. Counts 0-2. Talked about that earlier. Brian Anderson had a huge game yesterday. Had 4 RBIs in the win against the Phillies yesterday. Check swing, and Anderson went around. That'll end the inning. Marlins get a run to tie the game on this Jonathan VR RBI double going to the 3rd inning. Phillies and Marlins knotted at 2. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. Here's JT Realmuto leading off for the Phillies.
0-1's the count.
It'll be 2-3-4 due up for the Phillies. JT Realmuto, Bryce Harper, and then Rhys Hoskins. Realmuto singled in his first at bat and then scored on the Bryce Harper 2-run home run.
1-1.
Sandy Alcantara seeing these hitters now for his 2nd time. One pitch. Swinging a foul ball. Count is 1-2. So day 2 of Major League Baseball is a little scarce. There are only 8 teams playing today. Red Sox and Blue Jays playing. That game scheduled to start around 7:07. Twins Athletics playing at 10:07 Eastern Time. Rangers Mariners playing at 10:10 Eastern. 1-2 pitch. Swinging a fly ball, hit toward left field. Running back on it, Dickerson, and the warning track, he'll make the catch. That's out number 1. But the Braves Diamondbacks playing at 8:40 Eastern Time. The Giants and Dodgers playing at 10:10 Eastern, and then the Rockies and Padres playing at 10:10 Eastern. The game's being covered today by MLB's virtual network. Phillies and Marlins, that's the game you're watching now, and at 7:10 Eastern, the Angels and the Astros will play each other. That pitch hit toward right field and deep, back to the wall. And making the catch is Garrett Cooper.
The first baseman, number 17.
2 outs here in the top of the 3rd.
Hoskins.
And a couple of dangerous fly balls hit by the Phillies in this top of the 3rd. Now here's Rhys Hoskins. He singled in the 1st inning. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
0-1.
The infield playing him, anticipating him to pull the ball. He beat the shift, though, his last at bat. He actually hit it through the middle. More the right middle part of the infield. Now he's down to the count 1-2. Hoskins yesterday went hitless. 0 for 3 with a walk against the Marlins. That pitch misses outside. Counts even 2 balls and 2 strikes. From Alcantara. On the ground sharply to left side into the shift. There's Rojas, throws to Aguilar. That's plenty in time. That ends the inning. No runs, no hits, and no runners left on for the Philadelphia Phillies. Bottom of the 3rd coming up. 3-4-5 due up for the Marlins. 2-2 tie game. Here's Corey Dickerson to lead off for the Marlins.
The left fielder.
3-4-5 hitters due up for Miami this half inning. It'll be Corey Dickerson, Jesus Aguilar, and Garrett Cooper. First pitch. Swing and a miss. That's strike 1. Phillies got both their runs in the top of the 1st on a Bryce Harper 2-run home run. Dickerson rips that pitch to right field. Back goes Harper toward the wall. That's a home run for Corey Dickerson. A solo home run by outfielder Corey Dickerson. The Marlins take their first lead of the game. It's 3-2. And Corey Dickerson has hit his first of the season in this game. Yeah, that breaking ball hung toward the middle of the plate, and Dickerson got a good piece of the bat on it. Enough of the bat to hit it out. Marlins have a lot to be excited about right now. Here's Jesus Aguilar, 1 for 1 with an RBI. Phillies are down 3-2. Still the first third of this game. That pitch misses high. Counts 2-0.
2 balls, no strikes.
Wheeler struggling in his debut with the Phillies. Again, all those moves the Marlins made in the offseason. And the production in the first 1 1/3 games seems to have these Marlin fans excited. Counts 3-1 now on Aguilar. Pitch misses low. That's ball 4. So Corey Dickerson led this inning off with a solo home run. Jesus Aguilar just walked. Still nobody out. Garrett Cooper coming to the plate. Garrett Cooper, a former New York Yankee, was traded over to the Marlins in the Giancarlo Stanton trade that sent Stanton from the Marlins to the Yankees. He made his debut with New York on July the 14th of 2017. And in that exact trade, excuse me, it was not, he was not in the Giancarlo Stanton trade. Cooper wasn't. He was traded with Caleb Smith, who's the ace of this team right now, to the Marlins. And the Yankees got a pitcher named Michael King, who's a prospect. Pitch hit well, but foul. Counts 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Down goes Garrett Cooper, and that's the first out of the bottom of the third. Wheeler's got 3 strikeouts now.
Up next for the Marlins, the catcher, Francisco Cervelli.
Francisco Cervelli up to the plate now for the Marlins. Yesterday, Cervelli went 1 for 4 with an RBI. And this game, he's 0 for 1. .213 average with 3 home runs and 12 RBIs. Very few of those stats came with the Pittsburgh Pirates because he was injured for a large part of 2019. But he was traded over to the Atlanta Braves and was some catching depth for them as they made their postseason push. That pitch hit to left field. Over goes Jay Bruce. He makes the catch. And Jesus Aguilar will go back to first base. And that's the second out of the bottom of the third. There's Isan Diaz. 1 plate appearance, no official at bats. Walked in the second and came around to score on the Jonathan VR RBI double. These lineups cycling through rapidly. Isan Diaz led off last inning with a walk. Advanced to second on a Sandy Alcantara sacrifice bunt, and then the top of the order came around, and VR with 2 outs.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Got Diaz home to tie the game. And then Corey Dickerson led this half inning off with a home run. They gave the Marlins the 3-2 lead. Phillies opened scoring on a 2-run home run by Bryce Harper, but that lead didn't last very long. 1-1 pitch. That's a strike, counts 1-2. Aguilar walked earlier this half inning. He's on first base. 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called right over the heart of the plate. That ends the inning. But Corey Dickerson provides a powerful push for the Marlins. Hits this home run and gives them the lead going into the 4th inning. It's 3-2 Marlins over Phillies. Ignore the guys about to come up on the screen. No, nobody's coming up on the screen. No, Heidi Watney is coming up on the screen. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. Going to the top of the 4th inning. The Marlins lead the Phillies 3-2. And Jay Bruce will lead off for the Phillies. 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for the Phillies. Jay Bruce, Didi Gregorius, and Scott Kingery. Alcantara pitching into the 4th inning. Started this game, and that pitch hit. And that's foul. That just missed going over the third base bag. And you see there the left side of the infield is vacant, so Jay Bruce is being shifted by the Marlins. They're anticipating him to pull the ball. There's the 1-1. So both of these teams are National League Eastern rivals. Phillies lost yesterday, and the Marlins won.
Inside, ball 3.
It's still way too early to think this has a huge impact, but the Marlins tied for first in the National League East with a 1-0 record. And have overcome a 2-run deficit, now lead 3-2. This game's still early in its proceedings. And Alcantara still has 2 earned runs on his line score. So does Zach Wheeler. One of those runs that the Marlins scored was unearned to Wheeler. That pitch is fouled off. Count still 3-2.
Nope.
And that pitch just missed. That's ball 4. Alcantara issues a leadoff walk to Jay Bruce. And watch that again.
The shortstop.
It's close. But the home plate umpire dictates all. Now here comes Didi Gregorius. Made his debut with the Cincinnati Reds in 2012. Was shipped over to Arizona. Played with the Diamondbacks from 2013 to 2014. And in the offseason, after Derek Jeter retired, that pitch hit to right field. There's Garrett Cooper. He'll make the catch, but in the offseason that Derek Jeter retired between 2014 and 2015, the Yankees traded for Didi Gregorius, and he transitioned from being a second baseman to a shortstop and broke out with them, played there from 2015 to 19, became a free agent. And the Yankees did not wish to sign him back just because they wanted to free up space to sign Garrett Cole, which they did. And now Didi Gregorius joins his former manager, Joe Girardi, here in Philadelphia. Girardi also was recently hired this past offseason by the Phillies to be the manager.
Inside, ball
2. 2-ball, no-strike pitch. Jay Bruce on at first base. He walked to begin this inning, and then Didi Gregorius just flew out to right field. And Kingery in a favorable count, 3 balls and no strikes. Strike 1 called, and Alcantara on the board in this at-bat, 3-1. Kingery came to the majors as a shortstop. But the Phillies have had some other shortstops that they wanted to prioritize. Gene Segura got acquired last season to play short, and then Didi Gregorius signed here. So Gregorius playing short and Segura going to second. So Kingery has made a transition over to third base, and he's likely to start for them now that Maikel Franco was lost to free agency. Franco now a Kansas City Royal. Kingery looking to man third base with the Phillies, and he hits that pitch to right field. Garrett Cooper records both outs in this top of the fourth inning so far.
The batter, the center fielder, Adam.
With 2 outs, Hazley's going to come to the plate 0 for 1 in this game. Now Alcantara pitching with 2 outs. That pitch misses. That's ball 1.
Ball 1, no strike.
Hazley yesterday with the Phillies went 2 for 3 and had 2 RBIs in the losing effort. 1-1 pitch. Popped into the air. Miguel Rojas calls for it, makes the catch. And 3 flyouts. Record all 3 outs. And that's the end of the top of the fourth. No runs, no hits, 1 walk in the inning, and 1 runner left on. Bottom of the fourth inning coming up. Heidi Watney's probably going to be speaking again now, considering this camera angle. There she is. Sure, she's a real nice lady. Speaking of sideline reporters, however, there is some news from the NBA and ESPN. Doris Burke, one of the most respected sideline reporters, has received a positive diagnosis for the coronavirus.
The shortstop.
It says right now she's symptom-free. It's kind of a shame that you have the NBA players who, several of them, tested positive when she was around the players, and now she, seeing some of the consequences of being around the players. She was just doing her job, but it's just how this virus is working right now, and we're all working to maneuver our lives around this virus that's going around the world. That's part of what this network is for as well. Baseball never stopped, right? I don't remember it stopping. 2-1 pitch. Miguel Rojas leading off for the Marlins. 3, 4, 5 hitters due up for the, 8, 9, 1 hitters due up for the Marlins this half inning. Miguel Rojas, Sandy Alcantara in the pitcher spot, and then Jonathan Villar. That pitch hit well to left field. Jay Bruce being sent back to the wall, and he leaps. Well, too late. It's a home run for Miguel Rojas. The Marlins creating an exciting atmosphere here in Miami. Second home run hit by the Marlins. Miguel Rojas doubles Miami's lead. Now it's 4-2. The second and back-to-back leadoff home runs for the Marlins. Dickerson led off the bottom of the third with a homer, and now here's Miguel Rojas going deep.
Now batting, the pitcher.
First pitch to Sandy Alcantara, and Miguel Rojas now with 1 home run on the season. Which is extra surprising because he's not known as a home run hitter. He only had 5 home runs
I got the count.
in 2019. But the Marlins putting a pounding on Zach Wheeler in his Phillies debut. Alcantara stays alive in the at-bat. The Marlins' 4th inning yesterday was a 7-run 4th inning. Aaron Nola didn't make it out of that 4th inning, and he got the loss because of it. Zach Wheeler with 5 strikeouts now. Alcantara goes down swinging.
Number 2, Jonathan Villar.
Back to the top of the order. Jonathan Villar has reached base twice in this game. One was on an error, and the second was on an RBI double. He's going to bunt down the third base line. Kingery makes a very smooth and effective play, barehanding the ball, and Villar's out at first. Well played by Kingery. He was playing even with the third base bag, too, anticipating that play happening. And now there are 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. Brian Anderson coming to the plate. Struck out twice in his previous 2 at-bats. So yesterday he had a field day, only struck out once, had 4 RBIs on 2 hits.
1-0.
And now he's struggling in this game. Here's the 1-0. That's a strike. Counts even, 1 ball and 1 strike. And I also made a mistake, too. Miguel Rojas has hit 2 home runs on the season now. Bryce Harper back to the wall. He'll make the catch, and he robbed a home run from Brian Anderson. But Miguel Rojas hit his 2nd home run of the season on this solo home run to lead off the 4th inning. I apologize for making that mistake. But after 4 full innings, it's the Marlins 4 and the Phillies 2. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network.
Leading off for Philadelphia.
I'm Nicholas Callis. Zach Wheeler to lead off for the Phillies. 9-1-2 hitters due up for Philadelphia. Zach Wheeler with a soft fly ball out to left. Catch made by Corey Dickerson. That's the first out. Wheeler got himself a hit in his first at bat, but now he's 1 for 2. Back at the top of the Phillies order, here is Gene Segura. 0 for 2 from the leadoff spot. Now Alcantara's pitch. That's high, ball 1. The Phillies last scored in the first inning on a Bryce Harper 2-run home run. But since then, their offense has been relatively quiet. The Marlins have scored now in 3 consecutive innings, scored in the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th. Ground ball foul, counts quickly 1 ball and 2 strikes. Popped into the air, shallow right field. Garrett Cooper makes the catch. And Segura now 0 for 3 from the leadoff spot, 2 away. JT Realmuto coming to the plate. He singled and scored on the Bryce Harper home run. And he's 1 for 2. Was a .275 hitter in 2019. Take strike 1. .275 hitter, 25 home runs, and 83 RBIs. In this series now, he's 2 for 7. One pitch. Popped into the air and foul. Counts 1 and 2. This is a National League East Division matchup.
I got to count 2 and 2.
The Marlins finished last in the East in the previous season, and the Phillies finished 4th despite all the acquisitions that they had last season. Alcantara strikes out Realmuto, and that ends the top of the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. We all have baseball fever, so keep it here on Major League Baseball's virtual network. Here's Corey Dickerson. Walked in his first at-bat, and then in his previous at-bat, in the bottom of the 3rd, he hit a leadoff home run. Gave the Marlins the lead. Got some extra padding on a Miguel Rojas home run last inning. The Marlins have scored now in 3 consecutive innings. The 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th. The Phillies haven't scored since the 1st inning. Zach Wheeler, of the 4 runs that he's given up, only 3 of them are earned. That pitch just misses. And now the count 2-0 on Corey Dickerson. Dickerson in 2017 was an all-star with the Tampa Bay Rays. And in the 2017-18 offseason, he was traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates and played for them from 2018 to the middle of 2019 before getting traded to the Phillies, the team he's playing now. And in his first stint in free agency, signed with the Marlins. He's entering his age 30 season. Last year between the Phillies and the Pirates, he batted .304 with 12 home runs and 59 RBIs, swings and misses. Strikes out there. Zach Wheeler now has 6 strikeouts.
Now batting, first baseman.
And that's Dickerson's 3rd strikeout of the season now. Dickerson now 1 for 6 to start out the year. Here's Jesus Aguilar. He's 1 for 1. Hit a single and back in the 2nd inning.
0-2 is the count.
No, he did that in the 1st inning. Oh, goodness, I'm so sorry. You know what? The Marlins have scored in 4 consecutive innings. I lied. They scored in the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th. They've scored a run in each inning now. Chopped on the ground, 3rd base. There's Scott Kinger. He throws over to Rhys Hoskins. That's a 2nd out. Pardon me, I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, they scored a run in the 1st, a run in the 2nd, a run in the 3rd on the home run by Dickerson, and a run in the 4th on the Miguel Rojas home run. Well, with 2 outs, here's Garrett Cooper. Wheeler, I'm certain, wants to end the streak of runs being scored in innings. '82nd pitch coming. Here it is. That's well out of the zone. The count's 2-0 on Garrett Cooper. Debuted as a first baseman with the New York Yankees in 2017. Has since transitioned to be an outfielder with the Miami Marlins. And well out in front of that pitch, counts 2-1. Comes the 2-1 from Wheeler. On the ground, fair ball down the 3rd base line. Cooper's trying for 2nd, throw from Bruce, tag, applied by Segura, and out at 2nd is Garrett Cooper. And that ends the 5th. No runs, no hit on 1 hit, but that hit thwarted immediately, going to the 6th inning. It's the Marlins 4 and the Phillies 2. Here comes Bryce Harper to bat. He's 1 for 2. Hit that 2-run home run back in the top of the 1st inning. That's his 1st home run of the season. And that's been the only offense for the Phillies to this point. His single season high for home runs is 42. He reached 42 home runs. Harper did back in 2015 when he won the Most Valuable Player award. Harper in 2015 had a .330 average with 42 home runs and 99 RBIs. Last season broke his single season high for runs batted in with 114. And his first season with the Phillies. Alcantara, with the infield shifted to the right, has to go play that himself, and he does. And that's the 1st out of the top of the 6th, and here is Rhys Hoskins. Hoskins singled in the 1st inning and went hitless in his 2nd at bat. Now he's 1 for 2. That single in the 1st inning for Hoskins was his 1st hit of this season, and you see Stephen Tarpley and Drew Steckenrider in the bullpen now for the Marlins. Hoskins on the season now, though, is 1 for 5. He went 0 for 3 yesterday. There's 1 hit and 2 at-bats today. 1-1 pitch from Alcantara. Swing, and that's hit through the shift into center field. Base hit. VR will play it, throw it in. And Rhys Hoskins aboard with a one-out single. His second hit of the afternoon. There's Jay Bruce. Hitless in one at bat. He's had 2 plate appearances. He walked in the other. That pitch ripped to right field. This game is tied. Jay Bruce takes advantage of the hanging pitch thrown by Alcantara and rips it deep into the right field bleachers. This game all tied. See where that pitch was. Yeah, breaking ball up in the zone. Heart of the plate. Jay Bruce is notorious for not missing those types of pitches. Watch this. This is a line drive. Don Mattingly coming out of the dugout. Sandy Alcantara cannot pitch out of the 6th. He goes 5 1/3 innings. All 4 of the runs he gave up were earned runs. And he will not get a decision from this start today.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Marlins, number 57,
Eliezer Hernandez comes out of the bullpen for the Marlins. He inherits a 1-out bases empty situation here in the 6th.
Now batting, the shortstop, Didi.
That pitch misses inside, ball 1. Hernandez came in yesterday and pitched in this same exact spot. He came in with 1 out in the top of the 6th and ended up striking out 2 and then was later replaced. Of course, in that time, the Marlins had a 7-0 lead. Eliezer Hernandez will now have to pitch with the game tied. The first hitter he's facing is a dangerous one in Didi Gregorius. Set pitch sent into right center. Jonathan Villar will make the catch. And that's the 2nd out.
Now batting, the third baseman, Scott Kingery.
Didi Gregorius now 1 for 7 to start his season. And is 0 for 3 in this game. Scott Kingery will bat 2 outs. Bases empty, 2 runs in the inning. And takes a strike. It's 0-1. Kingery was drafted in 2015 by the Phillies. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Jay Bruce hit a 2-run home run with 1 out in this top of the 6th inning. Tied the game at 4 and chased Alcantara from the game. So if Wheeler were to be taken out to start the bottom of the 6th, he would get a no decision as well. We'll see how that unfolds. Kingery strikes out, and Eliezer Hernandez pitches out of the 6th inning for the Marlins. But this home run tied the game. Phillies and Marlins tied at 4 going to the bottom of the 6th. Here's Francisco Cervelli, 0 for 2. Lined out and grounded out in this game so far. Cervelli got a hit yesterday, went 1 for 4, and now in the series he's 1 for 6. Entering this at bat, Violas Guerra and Jose Alvarez. Double-barreled action in the bullpen for the Phillies. Zach Wheeler at 85 pitches. First 2 of the inning are strikes. 0-2. 6, 7, 8 hitters due up for the Marlins. Francisco Cervelli, Isan Diaz, and Miguel Rojas. Swing popped up, but foul. Count still 0-2. This game, one of 8 games being played tonight. Blue Jays and Red Sox playing an American League East matchup. Twins Athletics playing today. Rangers, Mariners, American League West. Braves, Diamondbacks playing. Giants, Dodgers, NL West matchup. And the Rockies and Padres playing, also an NL West matchup. The two games being featured today on MLB's virtual network. Angels, Astros, that game coming up at 7:10 Eastern. And the game you're watching right now, of course, the Phillies and the Marlins. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Zach Wheeler strikes out Francisco Cervelli to begin the bottom of the sixth. He's now struck out 7 hitters.
The batter, number 1, second baseman, Esau Diaz.
Here's Isan Diaz. 0 for 1 with a walk. Takes strike 1 right down the middle. He walked and later scored back in the second inning on a Jonathan Villar RBI double. Chops that pitch to the right side. Hoskins bobbles the ball. Diaz safe at first.
Now batting.
And that is the second error now committed by the Phillies defense. One by Scott Kingery that led to a run, and this one still pending that run on first base. Here's Miguel Rojas. Hit a home run in his last at-bat in the fourth inning. He's got 2 home runs on the season now, 1 in each game. Strike 1 called, it's 0-1. Miguel Rojas made his debut with the Los Angeles Dodgers, played there for 1 season, and then was traded over here to the Miami Marlins. 0-1 pitch. Popped up, shallow left field, running out after it, and not playing it is Jay Bruce. Throwing to third, Isan Diaz safe. Scott Kingery keeps it in front of him. That prevents Miguel Rojas from going anywhere other than first base. And here comes Joe Girardi out of the Phillies dugout. Zach Wheeler as well as Sandy Alcantara cannot pitch out of the 6th inning. 5 1/3 innings for Zach Wheeler. The difference between him and Alcantara, though, is that Alcantara left with no runners on base. Those 2 runners on base
number 43
are Wheeler's responsibility. Nick Pivetta coming out of the bullpen for the Phillies. Those are his stats from yesterday's game. As you see, here's Harold Ramirez coming off the bench. He will pinch hit for the Marlins, but Nick Pivetta came in to relieve Aaron Nola in the 4th inning. And Pivetta pitched to 1 batter and didn't give up any runs. Bounced to second. Segura, Gregorius back to Hoskins, and Harold Ramirez on 1 pitch comes off the bench and grounds into a double play. That ends the 6th inning. The Marlins can't score in that bottom of the 6th. We'll go to the 7th. It's 4-4. Drew Steckenrider comes out of the bullpen to pitch for the Marlins. So it's the same story for Hernandez. He came in yesterday to replace Caleb Smith with 1 out in the 6th inning and got 2 outs, then was replaced. And the same said here, except this game much different from last game that these two played. It was 7-0 when Hernandez came in that game. Came into this game with a 4-4 tie. 8-9-1 due up for the Phillies. And Hazley grounds to first. Aguilar plays it on a hop, throws to Steckenrider, covering first base, and that is the first out of the 7th inning. And now the pitcher spot coming up for the Phillies, and the Phillies will elect to go to a pinch hitter.
Number 5, Nick Williams.
It's Nick Williams coming off the bench for the Phillies. The Phillies have a Solid bench. Josh Harrison on the bench. Logan Forsythe, Nick Williams, Neil Walker. All of which got some chance to play yesterday in the lopsided affair. Grounded to short. Rojas throws to Aguilar. That's out number 2.
The batter, number 2.
And with 2 outs, here in the top of the 7th, the Phillies lineup turns over again. Gene Segura, 0 for 3 out of the leadoff spot. Is now 1 for 8 on the season. The Marlins offense has been pretty solid through these first 2 games. The Phillies offense, however, out to a slow start. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. That ends the top of the 7th. No runs, no hits, no runners left on base. Stretch time here in Miami. This game's tied at 4.
Your attention, please. Now,
Nick Pivetta done. Diolis Guerra
57.
coming out of the bullpen for the Phillies. Those are his stats from yesterday. Certainly was not shut out. When he came in
The center fielder.
yesterday, he walked 2 in a third of an inning, gave up 2 hits and a run. Certainly with a good outing here, his ERA will plummet, but right now it's at 27. Grounded to first, played by Hoskins, and that's the first out of the bottom of the 7th. But it is just so entertaining to see some of the earned run averages if a player doesn't do well in his first outing, because some ERAs are 27, 54, infinity. It's just a very hilarious stat early in the season. But here's Brian Anderson. Despite his quality day yesterday, has gone hitless in 3 at-bats. Faces Diolis Guerra for the first time in this game. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Popped up and foul. Counts 1-2. The Marlins scored in each of the first 4 innings on offense. Haven't scored since the 4th.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
The Phillies, however, got 4 runs on 2 home runs. One was hit by Bryce Harper in the top of the 1st.
Full count. 3
And the second home run was hit by Jay Bruce in the 6th. 3-2 pitch. Chased it, and Brian Anderson now 0 for 4.
The left fielder,
2 outs.
23. Corey Dickerson.
And now with 2 outs, Corey Dickerson will come to the plate. First pitch, called a strike. It's 0-1. Dickerson has walked and hit a home run in 3 plate appearances. It was a go-ahead solo home run he hit in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Dickerson starting his year off rather strongly with Miami Marlins, getting his first Marlins hit via the home run. Though I shouldn't say he's off to a hot start. Went 0 for 4 yesterday and was 1 for 6 to start the season. Still early, though. I mean that for both teams, too. You usually see a slow start before players finally warm up, and the best of the best usually heat up and get on a hot streak. 2-2 pitch. That just missed above the top of the zone. Count run full, 3 balls and 2 strikes, and That man in the on-deck circle, one of the 4 runs batted in tallied to him. 3-2 pitch to Dickerson, and he is walked for the second time in this game. Go-ahead run aboard
Now back, first base
with 2 outs. And Jesus Aguilar coming to the plate. Aguilar entering his age 29 season here with the Marlins. In 2018, he broke out with the Brewers. Batted .274 with 35 home runs and 108 RBIs. And his production has since lacked from that point on. In 2019, between 2 teams, he batted .236 with 12 home runs and 50 RBIs. Top to third, Kingery throws to Hoskins. Aguilar's out at first, and that ends the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, 1 walk in the inning, and 1 runner left on base. Through 7 full innings, the Marlins and the Phillies tied at 4. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. This is a National League Eastern Division matchup. Phillies and Marlins tied at 4. Marlins won yesterday 9-5. Two, 3, 4 hitters due up for the Phillies this half inning. JT Realmuto leading off. Then it'll be Bryce Harper and Rhys Hoskins. Realmuto singled in the first inning and scored on the Bryce Harper 2-run home run. Realmuto 1 for 3 today. 2 for 8 in the series. That's good for a .250 average. 2-1 pitch. That's down low, counts 3-1. Bryce Harper in the... His lone hit of the game was also that home run that he hit back in the first inning. On the ground, first base, there's Jesus Aguilar, steps on the bag himself. First out of the top of the 8th inning. There's your starter comparison, rather even. Zach Wheeler gave up 4 runs in his start, 3 of which were earned. Got 7 strikeouts as compared to Alcantara. Pitched more to contact, but got burned on a couple 2-run home runs. And his line scores finished with 4 earned runs. Bryce Harper comes up to bat. His lone hit in this game was that home run he hit in the first inning. Has 2 hits in this series. Had an RBI last night as well. Well, that misses outside. Counts 1-0. Bryce Harper signed a 13-year, $330 million contract with the Phillies in the 2018-19 offseason, and that was that's the biggest free agent contract signed in MLB history. And it was one of the longest holdouts by a free agent. Usually a player of Harper's hype and magnitude signs early in a season, and Harper wasn't snatched up until later in the season. Him and Machado were holding out to see who was going to get a bigger contract, and Machado blinked first, and Harper got more money. Second strikeout by Drew Steckenrider.
The first baseman, number 17.
And that's the second out of this 8th inning. That'll bring up cleanup hitter Rhys Hoskins. Hoskins, a couple hits and 3 trips. Facing Steckenrider for the first time, and that pitch popped up. There's Garrett Cooper. He'll make the catch. The 8th inning's over. Phillies put zeros on the board in that half inning, going to the bottom of the 8th. Marlins and Phillies tied at 4, 5, 6, 7 due up for the Marlins. Coming up next.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Phillies.
Sir Anthony Dominguez
Number 58.
coming out of the bullpen for the Phillies, making his debut in 2020. Didn't pitch yesterday, but with a game so close, he'll pitch today.
Leading up for the Marlins, the right fielder.
Right now, the Phillies are without one of their better relievers. They signed David Robertson in the 2018-19 offseason. Robertson had an arm injury that ended his 2019 season, and he most likely will not pitch at all this 2020 season.
1-1.
So right now it's going to be between Hector Neris and Sir Anthony Dominguez to be a strong back end of the bullpen and alternate a closing role while Robertson heals. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss.
Count 1 and 2.
Counts 1 and 2. Dominguez throws at a high velocity. He's hit 100 before consistently in his career. Has lacked control, however, but gets a strikeout there. And that's the first out at the bottom of the 8th inning.
Now batting, catcher, Francisco Cervelli.
Francisco Cervelli due up now. He'll bat hitless in this game. In 3 at-bats. First pitch. This is high, ball 1. Sir Anthony Dominguez on the mound entering his age 25 season. Last year had a 4.01 ERA in 27 games pitched out of the bullpen.
Ball 2.
Falls behind to Cervelli, 2 balls and no strikes. A couple of lefties in the bullpen now for the Phillies. Dominguez was Sir Anthony Dominguez. Sir Anthony. That's his nickname as well, Sir Anthony. But Sir Anthony Dominguez signed out of the Dominican Republic with the Phillies and made his debut on May the 7th, 2018. He's entering his 3rd season as a Philadelphia Philly.
That's ball 3.
And falls behind further in the count, now 3-1. Isan Diaz on deck. (3-1). Chopped on the ground, left side. Kingery cuts off Segura. Throws to Hoskins and gets the second out. Solid play by the third baseman, though. Third basemen are typically taught to be the ones asserting themselves for the ball, because when it's contested in that third base shortstop gray area, third baseman fielding the ball will have better momentum traveling to first than a shortstop would trying to make a backhanded play. So well played there by Kingery. That's the second out. Now here's Isan Diaz. 0 for 2, but walked and scored. Back in the second inning. Count even 1 ball and 1 strike. Sir Anthony Dominguez pitching with some efficiency.
2 balls, 1 strike. The count.
It falls behind another hitter, 2-1. Bottom of the 8th, this game still tied at 4. Swing and a miss.
I got the count.
Counts 2-2. The Marlins haven't scored since the bottom of the 4th inning, but they scored 1 run in each of the first 4 innings of this game. Phillies got a 2-run home run by Bryce Harper in the top of the 1st, and got a 2-run home run by Jay Bruce in the top of the 6th. Sir Anthony Dominguez gets another strikeout. That ends the 8th inning. We'll go to the 9th inning, last inning of regulation, still tied at 4. Don Mattingly comes out of the Marlins dugout now.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And there's a double switch taking place. Stephen Tarpley comes in to pitch.
Now pitching and batting in the 7th. Number 37. Now playing second and batting 9. Number 5. John Bertie.
Okay, so John Bertie now playing second base and batting 9th. So the 7th spot just came up for the Marlins. Jay Bruce hits that out to left. Dickerson with the beat on it. He'll make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out for double switch. Since Hassan Diaz batted last in that bottom of the 8th inning, the Marlins make a double switch that helps out their offense. So now Stephen Tarpley will bat in the 7th spot and pitch. Hassan Diaz gets taken out of the game, and John Bertie will now play second base and bat 9th. He'll bat second in the bottom of the 9th inning. Jay Bruce just flew out. Here's Didi Gregorius facing a former teammate of his. Stephen Tarpley pitched for the Yankees the last couple of seasons out of the bullpen. Was traded to the Marlins this past offseason, and now Tarpley pitches out of the Marlins bullpen. Gets ahead of Gregorius, no balls and 2 strikes. Pitch just misses, counts 1-2. Sterling Sharp, Adam Conley in the Marlins bullpen. This is Tarpley's debut with the Miami Marlins. Didn't pitch yesterday. Pitching here in the 9th today. In the air against the shift. Tough play for Dickerson, and he's not going to make the play. That's going to get over his head and get off the wall. Gregorius, content with a double, stays at second. And the Phillies have a runner in scoring position with 1 out in the top of the 9th. And Gregorius stayed on that pitch, didn't try to pull it, and is rewarded with an extra base hit. Roman Quinn comes off the bench, and he'll pinch run for Didi Gregorius. Pitch misses inside to Scott Kingery. He's 1 for 3 in this game. This is the last hitter that Stephen Tarpley is required to throw to with that new rule in Major League Baseball. In an inning, a pitcher must pitch to 3 batters before being replaced. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Scott Kingery down on strikes. Stephen Tarpley. It's the second out on a strikeout. And here's Adam Hazley. Pitch in the dirt, gets away from Cervelli for a second, but Roman Quinn well too quick, and a great read allows Quinn to advance to third on the wild pitch. Good secondary lead with 2 outs. Ball just gets by Cervelli's right side. And now the go-ahead run stands at third base. 1-0 pitch. Check swing. That's a strike anyway. Counts 0-1. Or counts 1-1, correction. Hazley went 2 for 3 in yesterday's game. But is now 2 for 6 in the series after going 0 for 3 in this game so far. Batting in a pivotal spot in this game. 1-2 pitch. Chopped on the ground, and that's foul. Hazley not a slow runner either. The infield has to be anticipating a ground ball because he's quick. Rojas can't make the play. That's going to get through the infield. Roman Quinn scores from third. And the Phillies have taken a 5-4 lead. And that's the first run they've scored that wasn't on a home run. RBI single by Adam Hazley. Phillies lead 5-4, and here comes a veteran, Josh Harrison. Harrison will bat in the 9 spot. It's the pitcher spot, and grounds that one toward the middle. Rojas makes the play. Throws to Birdie covering second, and that ends the inning. Didi Gregorius doubled. Roman Quinn pinch ran for him, advanced to third on a wild pitch, and Hazley singled him home. Phillies take the lead in that top of the 9th inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Marlins.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please.
Here's Hector Neris. making his season debut. Those are his stats from last season. The Marlins blowing the game open yesterday. There was no need for him to come in. There were no pressure situations, really. So Didi Gregorius was pinch ran for after doubling. Roman Quinn pinch ran for him. And now Logan Forsythe will replace Roman Quinn. He's playing shortstop now. And that's ball one thrown to Miguel Rojas. 2 for 3 in the game, hit a home run back in the 4th inning. Here's the 1-0. Chopped on the ground and foul. Rojas, despite not being a power threat in years past, has 2 home runs already this season. Hit one yesterday and hit one today. Falls behind, though, against Neris. 1-2. Hector Neris entering his age 30 season. .293 ERA last season and 67 innings pitched. Two-two pitch. That's outside, ball 3. Neris earned a career-high 28 saves last season. Foul ball count still is full on Miguel Rojas, 3-2. That's ball 4 and the tying runs on base. There's Joe Girardi in the Phillies dugout. John Birdie comes up, and he's going to bat. He came in as the result of a double switch in the top of the 9th. And Stephen Tarpley came in to pitch, batting in the 7th spot, and Isan Diaz got taken out. Birdie playing second now in the 9th spot. Kingery. Segura back to Hoskins. That's a double play, and the bases are cleared. And 2 outs on the board for the Phillies in the bottom of the 9th. One of the smoother double plays you'll ever see. Backhand, throw, right on the base. Return throw, just as quality. Now with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, top of the order coming back up for the Marlins. Jonathan Villar. Neris attempting to earn his first save of the season. Stephen Tarpley for the Marlins in line for the loss. He gave up the run in the top of the 9th inning. There's the 1-0. Popped up into right field. Bryce Harper makes the catch. That's the ball game. And then a least game that came right down to the 9th inning, but the Phillies prevail in the top half of the 9th to secure a 5-4 win over the Marlins, and now each of these teams are 1-1 after the second game of the year. Don Mattingly shaking his head at this game. And these are heartbreakers to lose. The Marlins had a 4-2 lead until Jay Bruce hit that 2-run home run in the 6th inning. It made it 4-4, and it stayed tied until the top of the 9th when Adam Hazley singled home Roman Quinn. And that's the ball game. Sir Anthony Dominguez gets the win for the Phillies. Pitched 1 inning, 1 scoreless inning, struck out 2. Stephen Tarpley came in the top of the 9th, but couldn't stop the Phillies from scoring. Hector Neris got the save. Didn't strike out a batter, but got a huge double play. And the Marlins lost. Quick scoring recap for you. Top of the 1st inning, Bryce Harper hit a 2-run home run with JT Realmuto on base. That made it 2-0. The Marlins answered quickly in the bottom of the 1st. They're getting a couple runners on. Jesus Aguilar hit an RBI single. That made it 2-1. And then in the bottom of the second inning, the Marlins tied it after Jonathan Villar hit a double that drove home Hassan Diaz. That made it 2-2. In the third and fourth innings, the Marlins got leadoff home runs by Corey Dickerson in the third and then Miguel Rojas in the fourth. That gave them a 4-2 lead. But in the sixth inning, Jay Bruce with a runner on hit a 2-run home run that tied the game at 4. Each team went scoreless in the seventh and the eighth, but in the top of the ninth, Didi Gregorius hit a double. Roman Quinn came in to pinch run for him, advanced to third on a wild pitch, and then Adam Hazley with 2 outs hit Quinn home from third. That was the go-ahead run and is now known as the game-winning run after the Marlins failed to score in the bottom of the ninth inning. Jay Bruce, the player of the game, for hitting that clutch 2-run home run in the sixth inning, and that'll do it. Don't forget to stick around. Our second featured game of the day will be the Los Angeles Angels playing the Houston Astros. That game scheduled to start at 7:10 Eastern Time. But until then, I'm Nicholas Callis. You've been watching Major League Baseball's Virtual Network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20.